Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of KPW Warzone. It is I, Tapy Styles, calling the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. And we are in Holiday Hell, the final Warzone of 2025. And what this only means is one thing and one thing for sure. The march to Spring Stampede begins here. And we have one hell of a show to kick off that march. Because coming up later in the evening, we'll be seeing the brand spanking new KPW Tag Team Champions, Bloom Bilko, better known to you as the Scheme, going up against the BamBus, Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino, defending the KPW Tag Team Championships that they have just won at TOXICITY a little less than 48 hours ago. BamBus looking for a clear-cut buzzer beater before we hit 2026. That'd be one hell of a way to cap off the year. There's been plenty of twists and turns regarding the BamBus. And defeating the Scheme here tonight, that would certainly allow them to end things on a high note. But that is not all when it comes to tag team action, because later on tonight we will also be seeing the First Nation in action, Slarty, Shuko, as they take on two principal members of Bunker Hill. We are of course talking about two of the founding fathers of Bunker Hill, Solo and the now former KPW American champion, Popo. Lots of discoveries to be made, lots of action to be had here at Holiday Hell, because later on in the evening we'll be seeing some singles action as the Rhinestone Cowboy, the Sauce, goes one-on-one against the hard-boiled Kabuki. Also still to come, we will have a landmark announcement later tonight on the program. But do not adjust that dial. Do not turn away. It's a real blink and you miss it moment here on the final Warzone of the year. But also to come, we'll be hearing from Parliament, specifically the Monarch, Oliver English. There's got to be plenty of things floating in that mind of his. He's got to feel pretty good about Papyrus being the new KPW American champion, his strongest henchman doing his bidding. But I can't imagine he's going to be pleased about the way that things have turned with the secret weapon, Osway. We'll be hearing more about that later. Also, still to come, more Bunker Hill action as two principal members of Bunker Hill go head to head. A man looking to start a new chapter, a chapter that begins here tonight, the chase for the World Heavyweight Championship. Popcorn Papi goes one-on-one against the Pitbull K-Dogg. And without further ado, let's make our way down to ringside so we can get this to a hot and heavy start. And what the hell is this? You know, I really, truly wouldn't have expected anything less. The director, Steven Gielberg, spoiling the party here tonight. man, that was almost certainly connected to what transpired in the closing moments of Toxicity, where Pierre Cinema came so close to capturing the World Heavyweight Championship before having it ripped away.
It's a Christmas miracle. Ha 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 ha. I bet that they couldn't do it, and guess who ain't the KPW World Heavyweight Champ tonight?
Still taking in the time to gloat to the Kumite faithful here tonight in the forum. And these fans, they are just absolutely letting him have it. We were on the cusp, on the brink of history this past Saturday night. And it was a night that was forever tarnished.
Guess who isn't going to get another shot for a long, long time? If only you fought just a tiny bit harder, Pierre. If you took things just a little bit more seriously, you might be the first ever two-time world champion. And you got nobody to blame but yourself. These losers here tonight can't remedy what happened. And when you look up at the ceiling, I hope you see your own reflection. You're never going to break through it ever again. And there's nothing you can do to change that.
Like this was all Pierre's fault for earning the opportunities that he earned over the course of the past year and a half, at least. And Pierre Cinema marching down to the ring. He's gonna I gotta commend this man on a very personal level. I cannot imagine what thoughts are creeping into his mind right now, having to hear that manipulative son of a bitch speak with such disrespect to these people.
You hear these people? That's 10,000 fans calling you an asshole. If you think this is going to be the last chance I ever have to win a world title, I'm more than happy to bear the bad news to you. I don't need lesser men to get the job done. I don't put guys like Jedi out to pasture just to jump the line. These people get what they pay for each and every night I lace up my boots. I've never given these people anything less than my best, and no matter if they cheer or boo me, I support them because their voice matters more than anybody else's here in KPW. They hold the keys to this city, and they hold the power. You're gonna need more than 2 hired thugs to rob these people blind. If you want to rewrite history, go for it. I won't lose any sleep. I'll still be right here fighting for these fans to express themselves in their best possible light. If I never win the world title ever again, that's fine by me. That's still one time more than you ever will. And if that's what these people wish for, then I will fight tooth and nail so that it stays that way.
Here's Cinema. Gonna lay it all down on the line.
You wanna know why I did it, Pierre? It's because I hate you. I detest everything you ever stood for. I loathe the facade that you've put forward just to get this far. Fake it till you make it. Huh? Where did it get you? It got you that reputation you fight so hard to protect. One that these people relate to, and one that I will never strive to be. I'm a stubborn man. One that fights harder to ensure your nightmares than you do fighting for your dreams. Take a good look at your knight in shining armor, because here he is in the flesh. Pierre Cinema, the choke artist.
The choke artist?
You want to make my nightmares a reality? I think you pulled that one off just by opening your mouth. You know you can't stop me. And unfortunately the past 2 ass-kickings didn't drill that into your skull. No trump card to play this time, No tricks up your sleeve. I'll show you exactly how stubborn I can be, because now it's time for round 3.
Oh, these two, they're looking to go here. Pierre Cinema wants to get a lick back for Toxicity here tonight. He wants a piece of Steven Gielberg.
You two don't move a freaking muscle. You two are really starting to push your luck here. And as a representative for the board of directors, I'm going to have to lay down the law on their behalf. And if you value your jobs here in KPW, you better listen close. Steven Gielberg, we're starting with you. You want the opportunities that Pierre earned? Do it the right way, asshole. You're gonna get a chance to prove yourself tonight in the main event against the KPW World Heavyweight Champion, Pando. And there is a catch. If anybody interferes in this main event, whether it's the scheme Corey Sinclair, that face-painted freak Ding, and especially you, Pierre, your KPW contracts will be terminated on the spot. Pierre, look at me, son. I know you're pissed off. He cost you the world title on Saturday. You came so damn close, and his boys took it all away from you. That's why the board decided you can get a rematch at the next special event, Ignition, on January 31st, 2026. Don't confuse my wording. I didn't say you'll get it. You can get it. Next week, you're gonna get the chance to earn that shot back by taking on the #1 contender Corey Sinclair. If you win, the board will add you to the championship match at Ignition. But if you two come into contact at any point before the match ends, kiss your jobs goodbye. Now get the hell out of this dam.
And the lights, they've gone out once again. Deja vu from Toxicity. And it's Ding! Roger doesn't have quite the patience for all the chaos, the animosity running amok here in KPW. He said quite a bit about the main event, Pando versus Steven Gielberg. He said nobody's allowed to interfere in that bout or else their jobs will be terminated as approved by the KPW Board of Directors. But he didn't say anything about this. Scorpion Ding drop. And Pierre, he's rushing to help assist Roger here. And I don't know if that was the right move there, Pierre. Ding with the dings on Pierre Cinema. Tombstone pile driver. Ding. He has been quite a changed man ever since he came back at Collision Course. He's been on a warpath. Another Scorpion Ding drop. And he's not finished. He wasn't even gonna bother trying to lay his hands on Pierre. Pierre made the first move. And he's not gonna make the last one. A second consecutive Scorpion Ding drop to Pierre Cinema. Pierre Cinema, he's getting right back to his feet. That was a bold mistake. Going for the hat trick.
Knockout.
And Steven Gielberg, he is absolutely awestruck at what just transpired in the ring. I don't think he could have ever imagined this outcome. I don't think he could have ever transpired this to go down. Thing's been one hell of a loose cannon these past several weeks. And we have yet to figure out what his true intentions are here in KPW. Now that he is back after a long hiatus. Almost week in and week out, we have seen this man deliver painful, excruciating messages to prominent members of the KPW locker room, and Pierre Cinema was no different here tonight. But coming up next, our opening bout of the evening, Bunker Hill collides in some singles exhibition as the Pitbull takes on Popcorn Papi. Here comes a former Twitch champion, a former tag team champion. It's K-Dogg. K-Dogg, he is certainly a man that has earned his stripes here in Bunker Hill for the past several months. He certainly has earned his stripes and one hell of a reputation here in KPW. But now he goes up against a man with a renewed purpose. A man ready to start a new chapter of his career. A man that made good on those reparations this past Saturday night at Toxicity against Slarty. The first ever KPW Hardcore Champion, a record-setting 3-time KPW Twitch Champion. Now he makes a chase, now he makes a beeline to achieve his goals, his greatest dreams and aspirations, the KPW World Heavyweight Championship. And he's got to face up against the Pitbull here tonight at Holiday Hell. You know that K-Dogg's been craving a fight. He's been wanting to get his toes back into some singles action. And what an opening that's been left ready to go, courtesy of Parliament this past Saturday night, when the Monarch, Oliver English, he sicked that 400-pound monster of Manchester, Papyrus, onto the heartthrob Popo and snatched away the KPW American Championship. It is imperative for K-Dogg to step up to the plate and prove himself once more. He wants to keep this fight going for Bunker Hill. And you will find very few men in that locker room that have fought as hard and as valiantly for a cause, quite like K-Dogg. Popcorn Papi, K-Dogg, these two go back so very far. They have the most airtight history between any members, any combination of members within Bunker Hill. It was Popcorn Papi, he was the man that recruited K-Dogg into Bunker Hill after Parliament tried to beat him down and pummel him. one very fateful night. And he's been quite the permanent fixture ever since. Irish whip into the corner. Popcorn Papi looking to move quick with some thrusts into the corner. Another Irish whip. And this is a bold strategy, a sound one from Popcorn Papi, trying to tire out the pit bull. But we've seen the battles, the wars that K-Dogg is willing to wage. Back heel kick from K-Dogg. Popcorn Papi, he's gonna have his hands full here tonight. Whatever may be left of him after what we saw last week, that summit with the First Nation taking 4 buckle bombs and being able to stand tall to tell the story, and then going on to have that reparations bout just 48 hours ago at TOXICITY and emerging victorious. Popcorn Papi, he is as tough as nails. He is one of the toughest men across that entire locker room.
3, 4,
and now he is up against one of the most resilient men
7
in the locker room. K-Dogg looking to move in on Popcorn Papi with a plancha. Popcorn moves towards the apron, allowing K-Dogg to overshoot. Big drop kicks from Popcorn Papi. 3rd time's the charm. That's the one that took him down. Big leaping clothesline from K-Dogg. Another drop kick sends K-Dogg through the ropes. A quick jab, a left jab from Popcorn Papi sends K-Dogg down to the floor, and he was looking to follow it up with a baseball slide. But K-Dogg sidestepped it. And this is exactly what we mean, folks. These two men, they know each other so well. They have connected on such a personal level in their time since joining forces as part of Bunker Hill. Both these men, they have very similar dreams and aspirations, and that has brought them to a clear standoff here tonight. In order to get closer to their dreams and their goals, they're going to have to walk over one another here tonight at Holiday Hell. Big drop kick sending K-Dogg through the ropes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Count of 4. And K-Dogg beats the count. A knee to the groin, courtesy of Popcorn Papi. Ladies and gentlemen, what was originally slated to be the main event of this very special edition of Warzone, a KPW Tag Team Championship bout, will now come second to last behind our new impromptu main event, as confirmed just a couple minutes ago, as the director, Steven Gielberg, will now take on the KPW World Heavyweight Champion, Pando, to close out 2025. Popcorn Papi pushing K-Dogg back into the corner. lighting him up with those punches in the corner. Big flapjack from K-Dogg. And that's going to be something that could almost certainly turn the tides of this bout back into the favor of the pit bull. Popcorn Papi needing to move quick, trying to regain control as swiftly and as firmly as he can. Big double axe from Popcorn Papi. Looking for a pump handle slam. A little bit of high-low action courtesy of Popcorn Papi. Cover.
1, 2, 3, pinfall.
And the hunt is officially on for Popcorn Papi. Look at the motions that he's making to the crowd here tonight. Making sure the whole world watches him. All eyes are on Popcorn Papi as he sets his sights on Pando, the KPW World Heavyweight Champion. Plenty of targets on the back of the World Champion, by the way. One of them including the King of Stego Style, the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. One Corey Sinclair, the man that earned his title shot just 48 hours ago at Toxicity. Now he looks to capitalize on that goal at Ignition, our next monthly special event, January 31st, 2026. And he earned that very opportunity by defeating this man. Coming up next, the Sauce goes one-on-one against hard-boiled Kabuki.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking. The Rock says, the Rock says,
Sauce marching with purpose. What we saw at Toxicity between him and Corey Sinclair, that was a mugging. He put up one hell of a fight against the King of Stego Style, but he just flew a little bit too close to the sun. Marches a man that has damn near everything to prove. Hard-boiled Kabuki. This man marched into Toxicity just 48 hours ago with the opportunity of a lifetime, going up against the KPW Twitch champion Rey Lucion, and he put up one hell of a fight in that opener. But he also came up just a little bit short. One of these two men is going to emerge victorious to close out 2025. It's anything but onwards and upwards for both of these men. And which one of these two men are gonna want this more? The Rhinestone Cowboy, the Sauce. He's been looking, searching for another chance at a high-stakes main event bout. Kabuki trying to intercept him with a lion's salt. And the sauce ran right underneath him. Back elbow from the sauce. Catches Kabuki flush in the face. And this is a bold strategy by Kabuki, trying to take right to the sauce in a striking bout. And that's not a favorable exchange for most combatants here in KPW. If anybody's got the grit, the determination to take the fight, the men of all sizes and shapes, it's certainly Kabuki. Both these men, they're a bit banged up, they're a bit battered, a bit bruised from toxicity. They know they can turn the tables around here tonight. We've seen one hell of a shift in the landscape in recent weeks. Parliament capturing the KPW American Championship away from Bunker Hill. The Monarch, Oliver English, sicking the 400-pound monster of Manchester, Papyrus, onto the now former American champion, Popo, just 48 hours ago. Securing the win, securing the gold. And now they got one hell of a bargaining chip. The sauce absolutely relentless with these groin shots. The sauce raking the eyes of Kabuki. He could put this away real quick and real swiftly. He's been in control this whole time. Rockabye to Kabuki.
1, 2, 3, pinfall.
And I don't even think the sauce broke a sweat.
The Rock is cooking. The Rock says,
Another night of bad luck
The Rock says,
for Kabuki. If he thought his loss to the KPW Twitch champion Rey Lucion was bad enough, this was certainly worse. What a dominant display from the Rhinestone Cowboy, the sauce, here tonight. And speaking of the sauce, we understand that KPW is the board of directors there authorizing that it is now time to make a major announcement, as many of the Kumite faithful remember the sauce having his launch here in KPW alongside his partner in crime, his tag team partner, a man that was at one point considered cold as ice, a Kumite original, is now forever immortalized. As KPW would like to formally announce the creation of the KPW Hall of Fame with its first inductee, Jim Ross. It would be damn near impossible to pick out a more important figure inside the ring towards the creation, towards the prominence and emergence of Kumite Pro Wrestling. The very first edition of Warzone, nearly 2 years ago, it launched with a cold open that just very simply read out that Jim Ross was going to be in the building. He was ready to throw down, and he had one hell of a fight. He took the fight right to some of KPW's best and brightest. But as he quietly retired over the course of the previous year, being able to return back to the farm and celebrate what was accomplished in that short amount of time, by possibly the first original signing here in KPW, has finally paid his dues. Jim Ross, a Kumite original and a member of the Connection, is inducted into the Hall of Fame by tonight's winner, the Rhinestone Cowboy, the Sauce. And coming up next, tag team action. As the First Nation take on Bunker Hill. And this is one hell of a situation here, as Slarty and Shuko, both recuperating after that reparations bout at Toxicity. Especially Slarty, he took one hell of a beating from Popcorn Papi. They beat the hell out of one another, and they are this is the kind of environment that they thrive for. This is exactly what they want, and this is exactly what they expect from the rest of the tag team division. And Bunker Hill, Solo, the Scrapyard Saint especially, searching for another opportunity to shine. And he doesn't care which partner he has alongside him in Bunker Hill. What's very frugal and what's very important to Bunker Hill is that they get back some sort of championship gold here, and their journey towards ignition starts tonight. First Nation marching down to the ring with purpose. Slarty with a bit of a hunch, but I don't think that's abnormal for him. He thrives in this sort of environment. But if there's two men that want the fight just as bad and are willing to do whatever it takes to reestablish themselves here in KPW, it's Bunker Hill, it's the Heartthrob, it's the Scrapyard Saint, Popo and Solo. Popo electing to start this bout off against Shuko. 30-minute time limit in effect for tag team bouts, much like singles bouts here in KPW. However, the rules will be a bit different heading into our next bout on the program. A KPW Tag Team Championship opportunity, as the Scheme defend their newly coveted KPW Tag Team Championships against Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino, the BamBus. Just 48 hours after capturing the gold. They'll have 60 minutes to get the job done. And these four men, they're going to try and put each other away in less than half that time. Hard jab into the liver region of Shuko. One hell of an assist from the Scrapyard Saint. Waistlock counter. Pendulum backbreaker from Shuko. Irish whip into the ropes. Big flapjack from Shuko. A spinning back heel kick. The pressure is on here tonight, especially considering what the Heartthrob went through at Toxicity. He had one hell of a slugfest on his hands. He was locked into a David versus Goliath style bout here against the monster of Manchester, Papyrus. Stereo offense from the First Nation, a double suplex onto Solo. Slarty getting the tag. He is now the legal man. Solo trying to schoolboy him, but Slarty was right next to the ropes. Slarty sidestepping that forearm strike. Arm drag courtesy of the Scrapyard Saint. A quick jab from the Scrapyard Saint. Engaging in a striking battle with Slarty. One hell of a decision made by the Scrapyard Saint. A fallaway slam courtesy of the War Machine Slarty. And he's ready to get his hands on the Heartthrob once again. And there's been so much talk in recent weeks about the history that unfolded between Slarty and Popcorn Papi, and how much of it all came to a head one-on-one for the first time ever this past Saturday night. But what is understated is the history that Slarty has with Popo. These two have duked it out back in the early days of KPW over the Hardcore Championship, a championship that became quite synonymous with both of these guys. Shuko with the double underhook suplex. For quite some time, Shuko almost considered the weaker link within the First Nation. But he was able to dispel all those rumors, all that hearsay over the course of the past year, winning the Tag Team Championship, becoming a Hardcore champion. And that's 2 more championships than anybody would have given him credit for up until he won the belts in real time. Shuko tagging in Slarty. Pop-up cutter from one member of the nation to the next. Look at the strength on display by Slarty there. Setting up Shuko with that military press. Shuko at the right place at the right time, executing a cutter onto a falling scrapyard saint. Shuko trying to restrain the arms of Solo. A wise strategy on behalf of the First Nation, but Solo takes down Slarty with a step-up heel kick. The athleticism on display from the members of Bunker Hill. It has been such a crucial part of that war that they've been waging with Parliament for the better part of the year. A war that just seems to be at no end.
1, 2, 3.
Slarty, barbed wire 2x4 in hand. Slarty thinking better of the situation.
1, 2.
We know that at one point in time, Slarty would have not hesitated whatsoever to bust out that 2x4 and break it over somebody's skull. But what was intended to be a new chapter for Popcorn Papi, this could very well also be the start of a new chapter for Slarty. He's picked up some real serious sensibilities. You've seen a very different side of Slarty ever since he's put together the First Nation here with Shuko here in KPW. Shuko, for the longest time, he was considered the mastermind. He was the brains of this operation. And it appears that his teachings have rubbed off quite well on the War Machine. And I think he's picked up a few tricks from Slarty as well. Those rapid fire knee strikes to the sternum of Popo. Absolutely lighting up the heartthrob here tonight. Popo trying to buy his tag team partner all the time in the world. Solo, big full Nelson slammed by the War Machine as the referee Slap Thigh Jones tries his absolute best to intervene. Hurricane Rana from Solo. Another Irish whip, looking to meet in the middle, spinning wheel kick. A forearm strike courtesy of Shuko. Looking to meet in the middle. They both had the same idea, looking for high leg strikes. And now Slarty enters the fray. Solo was ready to go, though. He had that wrist lock completely in mind here. Shuko trying to intervene for his partner, and he gets suplexed onto the 2x4. It's an absolute miracle that he didn't land smack dab on the barbed wire end of that 2x4. That lumber that Slarty loves to wield around for the entire world to see. can of offense from Bunker Hill. A wrist lock takedown from Solo. A big splash from the corner from Popo. And now Popo taking up Slarty, trying to get him to the top rope, getting some serious elevation up there. The view of the Kumite Forum from that second rope. Gotta be wondrous. It's gotta be electric. It's gotta be breathtaking for these men. Headlock cinched in by Popo. Using his body to block the reach of the ropes for Slarty. Getting rid of that rope break. Slarty tripping up Popo with a sweep kick. The action spills to the outside once again. Shuko intervening for his tag team partner.
5, 6,
And things are starting to spiral out of control here, folks.
1,
Slarty
2, 3,
sizing up the heartthrob.
4.
Slarty catching that fist of Popo and using that opportunity to toss him out of the ring.
3,
And Shuko, he's getting double teamed by Bunker Hill on the outside.
6, 7,
Slarty feeling forced, feeling obliged to intervene.
9, 10,
Big shot to the head of Solo.
11, 12.
And Solo rolls Slarty underneath that bottom rope. Slarty ready to take the fight right back to the heartthrob. And more importantly, we were able to speak with the First Nation, Shuko, Slarty, earlier today, ahead of Holiday Hell here tonight. And we know first and foremost, these two men, they would love to get their hands back on that KPW Tag Team Championship come 2026. And they know very well that if they can pick up a victory here tonight, that opportunity could come sooner rather than later. But I don't think they feel like they need to be in any sort of rush here. Scrap Buster from Solo. Folding up the War Machine. Hurricanrana, shoulders on the mat there. And a count of 1. A timely intervention from the mastermind, Sigma Shuko. Headlock from Solo, transitioning it into a leg scissors. Tripping up Slarty. Well, for another quick pinfall, very quick succession there, and Slarty pops the shoulder free, and this bout continues. So much has transpired in just a short amount of time here tonight, folks. We're getting a new main event here to close out 2025 as the World Heavyweight Champion Pando takes on Steven Gielberg in our main event of the evening. What the hell did Slarty just grab from the corner there? He has it ready to go next to the steel steps. I didn't get a good look at that.
2,
He was definitely brandishing something outside of the ring. Mountain bomb by Slarty. And what a beautiful setup that was by the First Nation. One hell of an assist by the War Machine. Definitely a play that keeps Solo out of the picture, allows Shuko to focus and zero in on the heartthrob, Popo. Earlier on, we saw more Bunker Hill in action. We saw Popcorn Papi take the fight to K-Dogg, a fight that he emerged victorious in what could be apropos and accurately described as a friendly exhibition. Both of them having high aspirations going to 2026. Popcorn Papi looking to start a new chapter. Pump handle bomb cover. Irish whip. Sorry, was thinking that mountain bomb once again, but Popo put a stop to that. He pumped the brakes on any sort of momentum that the First Nation was trying to mount up here. Crucifix pin. But Slarty, Popo wasn't the legal man. Absolute pandemonium in this tag team match here tonight, and there's still another one to come.
2, 3, 4.
We still have a KPW
5,
Tag Team Championship match
6,
to come up next
7,
here at Holiday Hell.
8.
Slarty and Popo fighting up the aisleway. Neck breaker on the concrete.
12, 13.
Solo
14.
taking the fight right to Shuko, buying his tag team partner some ample time here. And now Popo getting the upper hand on Slarty. Slarty's got to get back to that ring. Flips him overhead, beats the count. What a rush Slarty had to make to get back into that ring. And Solo, he was waiting in the wings for Slarty, beckoning him to enter the proverbial lion's den. Juco enters the fray. Look at it pick up right where they left off just moments ago against Solo. But we also saw in the program here tonight, the Sauce soundly and quite easily defeating hard-boiled Kabuki in a brief 3-minute exchange. One that Kabuki is going to be real hopeful that people forget, considering what followed after that bell-to-bell action. The announcement of the creation of the KPW Hall of Fame, with our first inductee, of course, being none other than the Kumite original, a man that was cold as ice, one half of the former and acclaimed tag team, The Connection, Jim Ross. I'd like to congratulate him on his accolade of being the first ever KPW Hall of Famer. And I'm sure that there will be more inductees to come in the very near future. I fetched chop from Popo. Tag made to Slarty. Double underhook. Back breaker. Slarty looking to move in with a big senton from the top. 2x4 in hand, looking to follow through and follow it up. Machine gun chops. And he gets a quick strike in with that 2x4. Tag made to Solo. Big power slam from Solo. Waist lock counter. Slarty looking to put Solo to sleep. Rear naked choke cinched in deep. And in every direction the scrapyard Saint could look, those ropes just seem to be getting further and further away. Side kick from Solo. Slarty getting back to a vertical base after tanking that side kick to the sternum. Solo, Shuko, both of these men doing some seriously heavy lifting for their teams here tonight. Popo and Slarty are broken and bruised. Welts all over the bodies of both of these men. Slarty pumping the brakes on that Irish whip, letting Solo make the mistakes for him. And as that ancient Chinese proverb goes, never interrupt your opponent while he's making a mistake. And Solo, he could have made quite a critical mistake here tonight. Big double axe to the back of the Scrapyard Saint. Shuko trying to keep Solo away from his tag team partner. Popo begging for the tag. Solo with a hot opportunity to make the tag. Trying to make some distance. Shuko putting himself in between both members of Bunker Hill. Solo fighting like hell. They make the tag. And did he get it? I don't think he was able to get the tag in time. But Shuko's got that barbed wire 2x4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Slarty looking to clear the ring, getting the action right back to Shuko and Solo. Irish whip. Looking to meet in the middle. Schoolboy! Cover!
2.
And I believe in a missile of crossfire. Slarty just got hip tossed right onto those steel steps. A disgusting landing for the War Machine. Certainly reminiscent of another arch nemesis of Slarty, the KPW World Heavyweight Champion Pando. That's how he ended Saturday night, getting slammed onto the steel steps face first by the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, the King of Stego Style, Corey Sinclair. We know that Corey has a guaranteed world title shot in 2026. Ignition, January 31st. Feels so close and yet so far away at the same time. But there is still the opening for yet another man to enter that battle. Come Ignition. Because next week, Corey Sinclair will be taking on Pierre Cinema. Lateral press, Slarty. And Solo pops the shoulder up. This bout continues. If Pierre Cinema wins that bout next week on Warzone, he will be added to the main event of Ignition, which is now confirmed to be Pando versus Corey Sinclair for the KPW World Heavyweight Championship. Open palm strike, but Solo stands his guard. He stands that ground firm and steady. And he's walking a fine line here tonight against the First Nation. Tag made to Popo. And this is exactly what the Scrapyard Saint has been looking for so long here. Back elbow takes down Slarty. And now it's Popo with the 2x4. That lumber that sits in the ring. You know, the referee Slapthigh Jones, he should really take that 2x4 and dispose of it. Shuko with the delayed vertical suplex. These two teams, these four men, they are putting up one hell of a fight, and we may have another big fight to come in just a few minutes time. Because coming up next, a tag team championship defense as the Scheme, Bloom, Bilko take on the BamBus, Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino. As the BamBus, they look to right the ship heading into 2026. Looking to pull one hell of a buzzer beater here tonight at Holiday Hell. Sit out power bomb on the floor, courtesy of Slarty. Popo's a legal man, however. And the First Nation, they're gonna take this.
20. Count out.
Slarty running one hell of a diversion on the outside. Pulling one hell of a buzzer beater on his own right. As the First Nation take a count-out victory against Bunker Hill. Popo, Solo, they fought hard and they fought valiantly. They fought with dignity for 26 long minutes. But it came down to the wire, and both teams were starting to grow in desperation. They're ready to pull out all the stops to ensure victory, and only one team could achieve that here tonight, and that was the team of the First Nation, the Mastermind, Sigma Shuko, the War Machine, Slarty. Make one hell of a push for 2026.
Exhibition.
But coming up next, it is time for the Tag Team Championships to be up for grabs. As the Scheme, Bloom, Bilko, just 48 hours removed from winning the Tag Team Gold, make a championship defense for the first time ever, and they have one hell of a team to go up against. We're of course talking about Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino, otherwise known as the BamBus. BamBus, they have needed this opportunity. They've clamored for this moment all year. And what they are looking for here tonight isn't just the buzzer beater. They're looking for a miracle.
You think you know me,
But if any team right now is in high spirits, it's certainly these two men, Bloom, Bilko, the Scheme, marching into their first championship defense ever. These two men were instrumental in screwing Pierre Cinema out of the World Heavyweight Championship 48 hours ago upon instructions of the director, Steven Gielberg, we knew there had to be some intimate connection between those events. And the BamBus, they needed some chance of a turnaround opportunity. These two men, Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino, they were destined for greatness. Their stock was very steadily rising. It was skyrocketing over the course of the summer with some of the enemies that they've carefully picked out here in KPW. Ricky Rhombus, a former hardcore champion. Bam Dardino, a former world heavyweight champion. Quite an eventful year for both of those men. And it hasn't been exactly the same since they picked a fight with Pierre Cinema and Jedi. When we saw those two men take on that unlikely duo in a 60-minute Iron Man match back at Euphoria. Nobody could have imagined how severe the ramifications ended up becoming for the BamBus. BamBus, Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino in the green apparel, the scheme in their signature red and black attack. And Bam Dardino makes the tag. And to think about all the connective tissue that is going into the history of the BamBus and how things have really transpired for them over the course of the year. Ricky Rhombus, Bam Dardino, both trained by the same man, Dynamite Danny Axel, a wrestling legend in his own right. A man that also trained our current world heavyweight champion, the Siberian Silver Bear, Pando. And Pando's had some real interesting run-ins with both of these men, compromising of the BamBus. You could forget, back in August, within the span of a week, we saw Pando decimate Ricky Rhombus inside of a steel cage. And then just 5 nights later, he marched through to Sabotage, where he would put a grinding halt to the championship reign of Bam Dardino, cutting his world title run just short at 12 days, the shortest world championship reign of anybody here in KPW. Certainly not a piece of history that the BamBus would like to reminisce upon. But one would like to hope that what they had to go through over the course of the past several months, the unfortunate string of luck that they've had, one would hope that that had to serve them at least a little bit of humble pie. Ricky Rhombus cinching in that headlock on Bloom. Bloom going low with a low blow. And it looked like Bloom was going to go for a power bomb. Ricky Rhombus overpowered him, hoisted him over the shoulders and down to the mat. An Irish whip reversal. Ricky Rhombus setting him up in the tree of woe. And a below the belt shot to Bloom, or perhaps that was above the belt because he was in the tree of woe position. Nonetheless, Bloom struck a below the belt shot himself, low blowing Ricky Rhombus. Double knees into the heart of Bloom. Looking to put away the match quickly. Ricky Rhombus on the prowl. And he has been in the driver's seat. Ricky Rhombus going up top, looking to go for the shape up. Bilko doing whatever he can to buy his partner some time. Ricky Rhombus looking to follow it up. Bandardino in position. Fisherman's Buster. And Bilko breaks it up. He saves the Tag Team Championships for the scheme for just a little bit longer. Low blow from Bloom. That's been the only equalizer he's been able to get in on Ricky Rhombus. Tandem offense from the scheme. Ricky Rhombus was distracted with the wrong member, but he's starting to redirect his focus. Bam Dardino wants a piece of the action though. And in comes the blue chipper. And the BamBus, they seem to be in a bit more of a unified presence here tonight. It was a common observation when it came to both of these men in times immemorial, where it was very often brought up that one man was looking to use the other for personal gain, one less target on their back to secure their end goals. But Bam Dardino, he became the world heavyweight champion, cashing in that lethal lottery contract, something that will almost certainly return at Spring Stampede in 2026 as we begin our march towards the Stampede here tonight. Bam Dardino, the incumbent lethal lottery winner. Who knows if he'll punch his tickets into lethal lottery this time around. It would secure one hell of a precedent. We've seen the Sauce win the 2024 lethal lottery bout and then enter his name into the hat last year at the lethal lottery match at last year's Spring Stampede, or for just a little bit longer this year's Spring Stampede. Springboard moonsault from Bloom. Side Russian leg sweep from Ricky Rhombus, drilling that knee into the gut of Bloom. We're looking for a gourd buster. And Ricky Rhombus is not going to give him that satisfaction. He's going to fight like hell to get some sort of championship gold here tonight. Forearm strike from Bloom, trying to soften up Ricky Rhombus. Ricky Rhombus running right into a suplex, but he shifts his weight properly. He's able to counter the suplex with one of his own. As I'm receiving word here, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next week, the first edition of Warzone in 2026. 2 championship contenders will be held to kick off the new year. Of course, our main event next week, Pierre Cinema goes one-on-one against Corey Sinclair. Corey Sinclair already has his shot at ignition. Pierre Cinema being screwed out of the World Heavyweight Championship back at Toxicity just 48 hours ago, must earn his shot back in. He has to earn his way back towards another round with Pando, with the odds even slimmer of him capturing the gold for a historic 2nd time ever. We'll also be seeing the First Nation in action once again next week. Tag team action at that. As we understand, the Scrapyard Saint Solo will be in singles action as well next week. Inside cradle, Bam Dardino, look at us capture the gold! And a kick out at 1. And speaking of gold, there will be a triple threat bout next week on Warzone, a Twitch championship contender, as Tape takes on not just K-Dogg, but the Diamond Dragon Opulence as well. That's one hell of a launch for 2026. One hell of a push towards Spring Stampede and, of course, Ignition, our next monthly special event on January 31st of 2026. Bam Dardino fighting like hell to get the tag, and he reaches Ricky Rhombus, gets the tag. Bam Dardino softening up Bloom for his partner. And Bloom was able to move out of the way of that 2nd rope elbow. And there's just something so lowbrow and so detestable about the scheme.
1, 2,
Their involvements, their
3, 4,
end goals,
5, 6,
their uneasy alliance
7.
with the director, Steven Gielberg. It's quite parasitic. But I think the director is fully aware of that. He knows damn well what he was doing when he brought those two in on the details. The combination of Steven Gielberg, Bloom, and Bilko, they have made Pierre Cinema's life a living hell. It was their joint contributions that put Jedi out on the shelf for an undisclosed amount of time. Head scissors takedown by Bilko. And I believe this is the first time we've properly seen him in this bout. Bit of a miscommunication there with the scheme. A low drop kick pushing Bilko right into Ricky Rhombus. Ricky fighting himself free, fighting his way out of the grip of the scheme. As he reaches over to tag Bam Dardino. Big drop kick from the blue chipper. BamBus with an enziguri counter. Looking to slow the pace of this bout. Get to where he is perfectly in the zone, in his element. Get to where he is comfortable. Think of the blitz plays that the BamBus are capable of playing here tonight. We've seen them pick up 4 in-fall victories in less than an hour against 2 former world heavyweight champions. But they're here taking on the tag team champions of the world. Boom, Bilko, the Scheme, title up for grabs here tonight at Holiday Hell. Big back suplex by the blue chipper. Ricky Rhombus taking the bullet for his tag team partner. What a selfless act. By Ricky Rhombus. The chemistry on display. The bond that these two men have forged in pursuit of championship glory and renown. The BamBus has come quite a long way. They've had quite some humble beginnings. BamBus, headlock takeover. He is getting into his element. He is ready to throw down. Floating out of the suplex attempt there. Sidewalk slam. I think we all know what's coming up next. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
1, 2,
Cover.
3.
And my God. The BamBus have pulled off the buzzer beater. We have new KPW Tag Team Champions. BamBus is a man that knows what it's like to be on an unfortunate side of history. The shortest ever World Heavyweight Championship reign. And now he can give somebody else a taste of that medicine, as the Scheme are now officially the shortest ever reigning KPW Tag Team Champions of all time. A mere 2 days. And the BamBus can take some serious solace in knowing that their efforts throughout the year, they've been worthwhile. This is everything that they've been working towards. And they won't have to worry about defending the gold for at least another week. Congratulations to Ricky Rhombus, to BamBus, the BamBus, for becoming your new KPW Tag Team Champions. My God! Coming up next, though, main event of the evening. This is definitely gonna put things into a sour mood for the director, Steven Gielberg. The scheme, they've been completely neutralized. There is no way he's gonna fight his way out of this. He's got a date with the Siberian silver bear Pando in just a few short moments. But as I understand, we have cameras rolling in the back. Oliver English, Josue, two of the principal members of Parliament, have the cameras rolling, and we were able to get this exchange on footage here tonight. Let's take a look.
I've called the both of you to attention for this important matter. Papyrus and Kruger get the memo. They still care about the great vision. Win, lose, or draw, they've been doing everything they can to put our plans into motion. So Josue, where is your goddamn faith? I've been at my wit's end with you questioning me each and every step of the way. I've done what I could to make you a champion, and yet when you got the shots it was you that couldn't hold your end of the bargain. I'm going to ensure the great vision comes to light, with or without your support.
Now hold on, sir. Josue has been helping Parliament more than anybody else in the past several months. He's had cause to believe you lost focus of our plan. Of course we couldn't plan for somebody like Pando to interfere with our plans, but Josue has been the one man that can properly fight Bunker Hill. Papyrus and Kruger have the discipline but not the skill set. Josue just needs the discipline, and then he'll be the ace you thought he was 6 months ago.
Tori has spoken up for you. You want these opportunities, the safety net, the prestige? Fine, but just understand from here on out, you aren't gonna call the shots, Josue. And Tori? You keep a tight grip on your leash, cause if he runs loose his blood is on your hands.
I'm not
Oliver
worried
English.
about bleeding for the cause. It wouldn't be my first bullet. But Parliament needs some serious ground to stand upon. I'll have Josue fight Solo next week to prove his worth to you. How will you step up, sir?
What am I going to do next week? I've been scouting our ports. This place is a damn madhouse, and that freak Ding has been tearing through everybody. I'm gonna try something to make sure he doesn't come after us.
Some serious tension there in Parliament. Some issues flaring up with the leadership, with the control, the direction, and the focus of the monarch. Papyrus and Kruger, they've been stepping forward, stepping up for Parliament in recent weeks. Josue's been struggling for quite some time. And it looked like we were about to see Josue get ejected once and for all from Parliament before Tori made that critical intervention. And they seem to have pinpointed a lot of their standing issues on how they handled this man, the KPW World Heavyweight Champion, the Siberian Silver Bear himself, Pando. David Gielberg. This has probably been as aggressive and as dominant as he has ever been here in KPW. At one point in time, it would have been absolutely laughable to even put him in the same ring as a Siberian silver bear. But the truth of the matter is that in recent memory, he has built up quite a reputation here in KPW, and he has proven himself to be formidable enough of a threat, a sizable enough issue for the World Heavyweight Champion to look out for. David Gielberg looking for that discus clothesline. And Pando staying in lockstep, staying one step ahead of him. Now Steven Gielberg, he's got quite the advantage of being at 100% here. But he's gonna need to be on his absolute A game to be able to beat Pando here tonight. That is a rare feat within itself. There's only been 2 men in the history of KPW that have that honor of saying they defeated the Siberian Silver Bear in singles action. One of them being the mastermind of the First Nation, Sigma Shuko. Steven Gielberg, he's got one hell of a strategy locked in. Looking to focus on the knees of Pando. We know the complicated history of those knees, especially after what he did back at Mayhem. That death-defying leap from the top of a tractor trailer, that moonsault onto hard pavement. Putting his life on the line just to put down another man in a parking lot brawl. David Gielberg is just looking for another opportunity to seize. Running bulldog counter from Steven Gielberg. Irish whip. Shotgun drop kick from the director. Pando backing Steven Gielberg into a corner whether he wants it or not, and he is just unloading on the director. This has to be absolutely therapeutic for the World Heavyweight Champion as he lays in the cut on Steven Gielberg, forever tainting that Toxicity main event. And the way that Steven Gielberg looks at it, we heard it earlier on tonight. He put the blame on Pierre Cinema, saying that Pierre could have done a whole lot more to get the job done, and he has nobody else to blame but himself for what transpired in that main event. And that is just gaslighting, just straight up manipulation from the director. We know damn well why Pierre Cinema didn't become the World Heavyweight Champion. He came closer than most at defeating Pando, inches away from the gold. And the only reason that he is not the champion right here and right now is because of the intervention of the now former KPW Tag Team Champions, the scheme. And that is a great damn feeling to be able to say that here tonight. Pando head full of steam. Steven Gielberg catching him while he was trying to build up that momentum. Who knows what could have taken down the director if he was able to pick up all that momentum.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
And I think we know very well what Steven Gielberg's had in mind this holiday season.
16.
All he has wanted for Christmas is to embarrass Pierre Cinema. All he has wanted is to take the spotlight from Pando.
1.
Steven Gielberg introducing that table into the match. We saw how well that went for him last week when he went up against the Sauce. The Sauce drilled him through that table with a rockabye to finish off the bout. And it's just absolutely incredulous that he would even try and attempt that once again. Discus forearm into the corner. Steven Gielberg wanting to take out his frustrations on Pando. Roundhouse drop kick by Pando. Pando soaring over that top rope with a slingshot right into the heart of the director. What does he have in mind here? He's taking a gut wrench through the table. Steven Gielberg powering his way out of it. Pando making sure that Steven Gielberg can't use that table whatsoever. Pando elbowing Steven Gielberg away from his grip. Pando trying to follow that up with a diving headbutt.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And Pando just launched that baseball bat over the top rope and down to the face of Steven Gielberg.
13.
As this match has very quickly, very swiftly gone further and further out of control. Any other promotion would have thrown this match out by now, but this is the home of fighting spirit. This is Kumite Pro Wrestling here, folks. And these two men, they will fight until there is nothing left for them to give. Even Gielberg, back suplex. Getting the upper hand on the world champion. Oh my God. This could be disastrous. Blue shell bomb on the world champion.
1, 2, count 2.
And my God. Pando proving to the world how freakish of an athlete he truly is. A mere mortal who have been counting to 1,000. They would have been looking up at the lights until New Year's Day after that blue shell bomb. But Pando, he gets up at 2. Full Nelson clutch from the Siberian Silver Bear. Luthez press from the director, Steven Gielberg. And this is an all-out brawl. If you wanted some season's beatings, you're certainly getting it in spades here tonight. Pando. He's gonna have to pick his opportunities as well as he possibly can here. Steven Gielberg attempting a drop kick through the ropes, but there's nobody home. That had to cause a serious amount of stress onto the knees of the director.
9, 10.
And now there's yet another table introduced to this bout. But Pando, he's thinking something else. He's elected to put the table back to try and soften up Steven Gielberg some more. And think of the albatross that Steven Gielberg would be able to hang over the head of Pierre Cinema if he could defeat the World Heavyweight Champion Pando here tonight.
6,
Take for himself what he has robbed others of being capable of doing.
10, 11.
And the silver lining for all this, the worst part about all of this,
14.
is that Steven Gielberg knows that nobody else can interfere on his behalf. Their jobs are at stake. Pando is at the mercy of the director, and Pando just wrestled that world championship out of the grip of Steven Gielberg.
2,
Pando grazing him with the belt,
5,
telling him this is as close as you'll ever get.
8, 9, 10.
And Pando, he's been such a valiant world heavyweight champion, a dominant champion at that. Now Pando throwing the belt right into the face of Steven Gielberg, telling him once again, this will never, ever be yours. Bear claw into the corner. 1, 2, 3. Pando putting the exclamation point on the director. Closing out the year with a serious message. Looking to serve Steven Gielberg a taste of that humble pie. What an absolute slobber knocker to cap off the year. He thought it was all said and done when the director, Steven Gielberg, put Pando through the table with the blue shell bomb. We thought we were going to count to 1,000. We were going to wait for the ball to drop in Times Square for 2026. And Pando was able to power out of that. But what Steven Gielberg wasn't able to power out of was that bear claw. A variant move that secured Pando many victories as a world champion and possibly more to come. And that is all the time we have here tonight, folks. We thank you for joining us each and every week here in 2025. I have been Tate, besides the only man that can call the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. And we'll be seeing you next year, January 5th. for a brand new edition of Warzone, a new look, a new theme, the whole 9 yards. Happy New Year, everybody.